spirits and ghouls. I'm doing a video. Talking video. I'm doing a vlog type thing. I'm trying to figure out more videos to make that aren't makeup related. So, what is this video going to be about? We're going to talk about paranormal shit. Yay. I know some people don't believe in it. That's great, fine. Some people do believe in it. Some people believe in certain things other than other things. Some people believe that it's spirits of people who passed that haven't crossed over yet. Some people believe that it's demons or angels or whatever. And some people just believe like they're just auras and stuff. So a lot of different beliefs. Always been sensitive to the spirit realm, world, whatever you would like to call it. Is sensitive to it, and she sees and hears and feels things. I am too. It's passed down, if people would consider that to be passed down. So since I was little, I was always open to it and had knowledge on it. So it wasn't like something happened and I was just like, what the hell was that, and freaked out. I always, from what my mother told me and stuff, I always had knowledge of it, that there was something else out there other than us, and I don't doubt that at all. I've seen a few things as a child. Around my teenage years, that's when a lot more stuff started happening. Now, with my grandparents' house, that house has been in our family for 50-something years. Before that house was built, there was only one other owner before it, before my grandparents bought it, and he died in the house. He built it and died in it and had his funeral there. And then my grandma and grandpa got it, and my mom just walked by the window. My grandma and grandpa got it, and it's been in our family for like over 50 years. It's not in our family anymore, but yeah. But before, that land was completely empty, and the house behind us was the only house that was on that land. It was all farmland and everything. So I'm not really sure the full history on it, because I'm sure there's probably something connected to that land, because a lot of paranormal, spiritual things happen in that area ever since my mom was young and stuff. Like, she has a lot of encounterings there. If you guys would like me to tell you her stories, I will. She won't get on camera and tell them, but I will. I was probably 15 or 16, and I was having wicked, horrific nightmare, and I'm not sure if dreams are connected to the spirit world. Like, I know you can have very spiritual dreams. I know you can have dreams connected, like deja vu and things like that, and I have a lot of that. But usually when I have just such horrific nightmares, I'll wake up, and like a few minutes after I wake up, I'll see something. Some people probably say, oh, it's just you like still dreaming or something. Some people be like, oh, it's connected or whatever. Some people be like, whatever, you're crazy. It seems so simple, but it was horrifying. Like, when you're dreaming it, just like this intense feeling you get that someone's like watching you and everything. So the dream was, I was walking down the stairs and I felt like someone was looking at me through the front door. So I walked over to the front door, and it was like a fresh layer of snow, and there was a little girl standing in the snow, bare feet, and she had a white nightgown on, and curly dark hair, long dark hair. And thank you for hitting my camera, cat. But she was just standing there staring at me, like face on staring at me. Like, pretend this is her. This is her face on staring at me. And then she just started walking in a circle. Like this. So she never turned. She just walked in a circle like this, staring at me the whole time. and each footprint left blood. So I woke up from that nightmare, took a breather, was just like, what the hell was that? I've never had a dream like that before. Like, I've had nightmares, crazy nightmares, but that one was so strange and bizarre and everything out of nowhere. And then I'm laying in bed, like, trying to gather everything and, like, be like, it's just a dream, go back to sleep type feeling. And I felt like someone was watching me. Like, the same feeling that I was feeling in the dream. And I turned over in my bed, looked on my floor, and there was that little girl sitting crisscross Indian style on the floor, staring up at me. This is the thing with things that I've seen. You see them with your physical eye with like a blue hue, transparent type thing. But in your mind's eye, you see them in color and whole. It's very, very weird. That I was like, okay, I'm going back to bed. I didn't say anything to her. I just looked at her and was like, oh, turned back around, went back to sleep. The next thing I had was like a few months later. There was a lot of activity in that old house. There's nothing here, thank God, even though the lady that owned it before us did die. But it's very peaceful here, and you don't feel anything, so we're good. Anyway, so a few months later, I had this other bizarre nightmare of my cousin who got killed, and him coming back to life and just started like ripping his body apart, and I don't know, it was like grotesque. And then my brother was in it, and he was like taking a cheese grater and grating his chest with it, and he was just bleeding everywhere, and like skin pieces were just falling off everywhere. So I wake up from that nightmare and I'm like crying because it's my brother, my little brother, who's out of the 6 brothers I'm closest to, and my cousin who I was really close to that just died like a year before that nightmare. And I was just like, this dream is crazy. I need to go downstairs and sleep on the couch because I can't be upstairs alone. I go downstairs and I walk towards the living room, and when I'm walking towards the living room, I see a man sitting on my couch, and he has a top hat on, and he has like old-fashioned type clothes, like Korean types of clothes. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. And he's sitting there, and he has a cane in his hand, and he's just smiling at me. And again, same thing. I see him with my visual eye as a blue, translucent type figure, but in my mind's eye, I see him in color, and I see all the colors of his wardrobe, and his blonde hair, and blue eyes. And that was another one that I just stopped. It's like, okay. Turned around, went back upstairs. Like, I will face my nightmare. I do have these encounterings. I do not talk to them. I do not engage conversation with them. I do not go looking for them. They just like me, and they like showing up, and I don't do anything. I'm just like, okay, thank you for letting me know that you're here. I'm gonna leave now. The only thing I do that people kind of find weird is, when I'm going to visit a grave site, either for my friends or family, or if I'm doing a photo shoot in a graveyard, I will read their names, say their names out loud, tell them thank you, and I hope that they don't mind that we're taking photos over here. And if they do, let us know. And they will let you know. So me and my friend Courtney, 2 winters ago, it was when I first got this camera, and we wanted to try it out, and we were just at my campus taking pictures. I was taking pictures of her, and I was like, let's go to a graveyard and take some pictures at the graveyard, that would be fun. And I'm looking around the graves and stuff, and I'm like, I've never been in this area since like 5th grade, so this is interesting. And she's like, alright, well, what graves do you want me to pose by, and they had those like big, I don't know what they're called, monument graves or whatever, where they had more than one person in there. It's usually families that are in there. And they had a few of them lined up, and there was one that stuck out to me, and the last name was Gage. For some reason, I was drawn to that one. That one. We have to do it at that one. I want to do it at this one. It's a beautiful grave. We got to do it. I take a few pictures of the grave itself to see how my camera is with the lighting and everything. And it was beautiful. Each picture came out crystal clear. And it, like, all the pictures just looked wonderful. And then I'm like, alright, Courtney, you go pose by the grave. And as soon as she went to pose, and as soon as I went to take a picture of her, my camera would not focus at all. It started blurring up, like, extremely bad. Not just a little blur, like, the whole screen was blurry. And then it just went black. My whole screen went black. No matter what I did, it would not turn on. I couldn't take a picture. If I took a picture, it just came out black. And my camera just completely shut off, and it would not let me turn it back on. So I took that as, they don't want us taking pictures here. We gotta go. As soon as we left that graveyard, my camera turned back on. Like, later I looked up that grave on Grave Finder, and to see who was in it and learn a little bit about them, because I like learning things about graves. And I found out that there's a father, mother, and a son that are buried in there. I think that's it. I think there was a fourth one, but I couldn't really find too much information on her. So I don't really remember her that much. But the father and the son were both caretakers of that graveyard. Lived on that graveyard, so it just made sense that they wouldn't really want someone going into their home for so many years and taking pictures at their home. Those are my top 3 stories. I have other stories which are like shadows or voices or feelings. I don't know if you guys would be interested if I did a separate video on that, because this video is already getting pretty long. And I don't want it to be like 20 minutes of you guys being bored of me just talking. So if you want me to just continue this and talk about the shadows, the sounds, and the feelings, then I will do that. If you guys have any other video ideas that you would like me to do, then let me know. Yeah. That's all I can think about right now. I will talk to you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful day. I would do my heart that I usually do at the end, but the other hand's holding the camera, so you have to do the other part of the heart for me. Alright? Are you doing it? Alright guys, bye.